What if I told you that there once was a player who won 2 Champions Leagues but is still hated by his own fans? Miodrag Belodedici was born in 20th May 1964 in the small town of Sokol. Even though he is technically Romanian, Sokol was a village predominantly consisting of Serbians. So he had Serbian parents and family as well. He even attended schools where he spoke Serbian. When he reached elementary school, his junior national teammates helped him learn and master Romanian. At 14, he joined his first team, Minerul Moldova Nouă, in 1978. He flourished and caught the attention of the Romanian Federation, who decided to include him in the top project called Steaua Bucuresti. Steaua was basically a place where the Federation brought all of the highly rated Romanian youngsters. Most of the people don't know that the whole golden generation came from Steaua. Some sources say that it's been the best thing to happen in Romanian football, and I frankly agree. Belodedici was still on fire, turning heads with every occasion, so it was no surprise when league-winning champions Steaua Bucuresti scouted and recruited him. To make it clear, Steaua was arguably the best team in Romania at that time. To bring a young and inexperienced player into a team with players that have had 10 to 15 years of experience raised many concerns. Even with his form, many pundits considered it dubious. It might help Belodedici's case that his childhood friend Balint was also there, and that might also be the reason why he adapted so quickly and reached his full potential. Over the course of 5 years, he went from a bench warmer to an undisputed starter and won a whopping 5 league titles with 4 doubles. But it was all about to change. In the 1985-86 season was the one that cemented him as one of the best liberos and players in the history of Romania. The season started peacefully, with Steaua yet again dominating the league, but nobody was ready for what was about to come. They were handed easy games in the Champions League, getting paired with Velje in the first round, beating them 5-2, overpowering Honved, the Hungarian side 4-2, and then beating Finnish side Husi 1-0. The real challenge began when they were paired with Anderlecht in the semi-final, arguably one of the best sides in that era. It was a hard-fought game, with Steaua losing 1-0 in the first leg, but pulling off a thundering 3-0 win in the second. And then, like magic, they reached the final, where you guessed it, they faced the hardest team out there, FC Barcelona. Steaua held on strong and managed to take the game to extra time and then penalties. All hope seemed lost, but the real hero of the story, Luka Dam, stepped up. He saved 3 consecutive penalty kicks, allowing Steaua to win 2-0 and giving Belodedici his first ever Champions League trophy. Everything was going great, everyone was celebrating, but as one can say, nothing is forever. In 1988, after the Super Cup win against Dinamo Kiev, when the communist regime was still in full authority, Belodedici decided to run away to Yugoslavia. From what he stated, he did it because he felt the suppressed anger of the people and that there was going to be a major political change in the country. New books written about him also declare that he was upset he couldn't visit his relatives and had his passport taken away, so he could not escape. And he was right. The following year, all hell broke loose. Ceausescu, Romania's dictator, was brutally shot and killed while trying to escape the country along with his wife Elena. The people were out on the streets for countless days. Belo was right all along. His trip to Yugoslavia didn't go as planned. When he arrived, he stayed at a friend's place who was also a sort of spokesman for Partizan Belgrade. Belodedici didn't want to sign for Partizan. He pushed and pushed until he could sign for his dream team, Red Star Belgrade. But it wasn't all sunshine. The signing process was a really long one, because right after he left the country, he was named a traitor that was to be imprisoned for life if he ever stepped foot back. But that was before Ceausescu's death. Now, with a new regime, Romania along with FIFA decided to only give him a 1-year ban from competitive football. In order to avoid being out of shape, Belodedici played a lot of games in his free time, and the club even set up a ton of friendlies, or even moved him to youth team friendlies, so he could get games. One journalist recalls that when he was little, Belodedici came to his park and actually played football with him and his friends. They didn't know it yet, but they were playing with a legend that was about to make history, yet again, in Yugoslavia, this time. Sources say that he was indeed remorseful when he started playing for Red Star. All that stress never truly got to him though. He was as decent as always, as nimble and agile as he would ever be. It was all about to change in 1991. That season, Belo won the Champions League again, becoming the first ever player to win 2 cups, and both of them with East European football clubs. Again, he did it in underdog fashion. First three opponents weren't that tough. Grasshoppers and Rangers and Dinamo Dresden. The semis were tough. Red Star barely beating Bayern München with a shocking 4-3 scoreline. The game against Marseille, the final, was arguably the toughest. Tense game that went from net to net that ultimately went in penalty kicks. Belodedici scored the penalty and this forever silenced the haters that considered his first Champions League win unmerited because he did nothing in their opinion. His good form and willingness to change countries made Miodrag a wanted man. He was desired by every big club in Europe. Things didn't truly work out. A contract at Valencia where he barely played due to the constant changing of managers and a poor league finish. The move to a relegated Valladolid that only stayed up because of the La Liga franchise expansion, and the year with Villarreal in the second division marked the end of his Iberian adventure. Later moved on to Mexican side Atlante FC, where he didn't do much and returned to his original club Steaua Bucuresti, where he still won 2 titles, another way of measuring his pure ability. Now, you may be wondering, but what about international? What did he do? Well, he was part of the golden generation, as mentioned before, that beat Argentina in 1994 and got eliminated by Sweden. He didn't score many goals, but he didn't need to. He was a leader, greater than Hagi in my opinion. As Mourinho said, even right now, I would sign you and Hagi to play this age. Doesn't matter that the libero position doesn't exist. We'll play you as a defensive mid. The world needs more players like you. He was truly a GOAT that doesn't get talked about nearly enough because people don't know the story.